This presentation is on market research, and we're going to talk about the 7 steps of product development. Okay, first, market research is gathering and analysis of data on a market, right? That would include the size of the market, so how many people are in there, the location of the market geographically, the makeup of the market, what kinds of people, what are their ages, genders, what are they interested in. And to get this data, shoppers are questioned, right? They're introduced to new foods, new commercials, new styles, and they're asked to share their opinions on that. And that helps shape what then a company is going to produce, sell, be invested in. Okay, demographics. Demographics are just facts about a population. Usually that's a certain geographical area's population. It could be as big as North America, or it could be as small as Banks County, right? It's just the demographics of an area. So those would include the age, the gender, the race, the income, the location, and lots of other factors about a population. And those can be gathered from a lot of different places, right? Surveys, databases, sales figures for other products, and a really big one is the census, right? And you can see this image we have is the population per square mile in the state of Georgia, and this was gathered by a census. Red means there's more people per square mile. Dark green means there's not many people at all per square mile. So you can see the extremes, right? Right here in the middle of Atlanta, you may have more than 5,000 people per square mile. But then you look right here in whatever county that is, right? That's less than 1 person per square mile. So if we look at Banks is right here. It looks like we fall into the 25 to 50 maybe, or 50 to 100 people per square mile. So kind of closer to the middle. Okay, target marketing is when you focus on a certain group of people who are most likely to use the service or buy the product, right? And those people have similarities. That helps a lot of things. It helps focus the ads that you're going to make, the packaging that the item's going to come in, the wording that you're going to use on the packaging and the ads and commercials, and the pricing, how you're going to price it. Depending on who you're targeting with your marketing, the price may be a certain way. Okay, here come the 7 steps. Number 1, you got to generate ideas. This is your brainstorming, right? Together with a team, a company, a business, a group of people, generate all the ideas they can come up with for these new products or services. Step 2 is they evaluate those ideas. They screen the ideas. Do they align with their mission, with their strategy they want to employ? Or do they compete with an existing product that company already makes? Right, so I pulled up all these iPods. Right, so when Apple was doing this, they had to decide, is this new product too similar, or is it going to compete with what we already have? So, when they made this first iPod Shuffle, they made it for a specific purpose, and they decided that it would serve a different purpose than, the iPod Nano or the bigger iPods, right? Also, they thought about, does this align with our strategy, our mission of making it simple? You can see that there's a lot of simplicity here, so they decided it did align with that. And in this step, they're going to use consumer feedback to shape the decisions they make. All right, step 3 is to develop a business plan. Now, a business plan is a pretty long document, pretty much explains what the product is, who your competition is, what you expect sales to be, what you expect to price it, and who your market is, who you're trying to sell this to. The goal with this business plan is to attract investors to invest in your company that gives you more capital, so you have more money to use to develop the product. All right, step 4 is to develop the product, right? And usually that includes making a prototype. Most often that is not the same as what they actually produce. The prototype has some differences. The reason is they test the prototype and then they make adjustments to what they're actually going to send out to the consumer. So you see in this picture, we have the 2015 Mustang prototype. It's covered in all kinds of coverings so the competition doesn't see it and make something similar or know what's coming out. Step 5 is to test market the product. Usually this is done for a small amount of time in a certain area It allows the company to see if if there's going to be some initial success or do they need to make some changes, but it also allows the competition to see the product, and sometimes that is dangerous, right? And they're going to use the data from that test market to change, inform, and adjust the decisions they make about the product. Step 6 is to introduce the product, right? And usually this includes a big publicity campaign. Now that costs a lot of money, but it's really important because it garners a lot of attention for that product and a lot of initial sales to kind of boost it and get it going. Companies have to take advantage of this time. One, it's the first time people have seen it and they want to get the word out that it exists, right? You want people to know what you're making and how it can help them. Also, real soon, other companies are going to catch on, and if it's successful, they're going to make similar products. So the picture here, I have the Nike Next Percent, right? Big publicity campaign. They sent it out, really popular. They had a whole bunch of marathons. These are all a whole bunch of well-known pro runners you see in the shoes. Very soon after, this shoe has a carbon fiber plate. That was the new thing in it, right? Real soon after, you see all these other companies also made shoes with carbon fiber plates, right? So Nike had to hurry, get the word out so they could sell as many as possible before they had all this competition. And the last step is to evaluate customer acceptance. Do they like it? Who is most likely to buy it? What are they buying and how often are they buying it? So with those shoes, Nike wanted to know how often do they buy a pair of these shoes. Kind of shapes how many they're going to make. This is when a company is going to make a decision whether they continue making the product or discontinue that product altogether if it's not successful.